Welcome, fearless viewers, to our sanctuary of the macabre, where true tales of horror come to life. Today's journey into the abyss takes us to a place shrouded in shadows and whispers, the Whitlock residence. Dare to join us on this unsettling exploration? Let's unveil the secrets of the unseen tenant. In the heart of Harper's Grove, a town where every cobblestone building and every corner holds a story. On the very edge of the town near the pond stands the old Whitlock residence. This once majestic Victorian manor, now a shell of its former self, holds within its walls a past that chills the very air around it. Our tale begins with Sarah and James, a young couple drawn to the house's undeniable charm, oblivious to the murmurs of caution from the townsfolk. Their dreams of restoration will soon encounter the house's nightmarish reality as they peel back the layers of time and uncover truths better left undisturbed. In the heart of the renovation, amidst the dust and echoes of the past, Sarah and James stumbled upon an anomaly within the attic, a secluded nook veiled by years of neglect. The air was thick with the musty scent of aged wood and long-forgotten secrets, the kind of odor that clings to the back of your throat, a mix of mildew and memory. As they peeled back the layers of wallpaper, a symphony of creaks and groans sang through the beams, the house seemingly protesting at the uncovering of its hidden chamber. The light, dim and dappled, filtered through the dusty windows, casting an eerie glow that seemed to illuminate the room with a ghostly ambiance. As they peeled back the layers of wallpaper, a symphony of creaks and groans sang through the beams, the house seemingly protesting at the uncovering of its hidden chamber. The light, dim and dappled, filtered through the dusty windows, casting an eerie glow that seemed to illuminate the room with a ghostly ambiance. Within this secluded space, they found a cache of journals, bound in leather, their pages yellowed with time. The tactile sensation of the worn covers, the crackle of the old pages as they turned, told a story beyond words, a testament to their age and origin. As Sarah gingerly opened the first journal, a waft of old paper and ink rose to greet her nostrils, a scent that spoke of long nights spent writing by candlelight, of solitude and longing. The first entry, penned in a meticulous hand, spoke of mundane daily activities, but as they delved deeper, the tone shifted. Eleanor Whitlock, the author, began to chronicle an unsettling presence, an unseen force that grew increasingly tangible with each passing night. The temperature in the room seemed to drop with each word read, the chill of the unseen seeping into their bones. James reached out to touch the wall, feeling an inexplicable coldness emanating from the very structure of the house, as if the building itself was alive with the remnants of the past. Sounds that had previously gone unnoticed began to intrude upon their consciousness. The subtle shift of air, a whisper of movement from the corners of the room, the house breathing around them. The taste of fear, sharp and metallic, tinged their tongues as the realization dawned. The stories in these journals were not mere fabrications. They were harrowing truths waiting to be acknowledged. The light flickered, as though reacting to the growing tension, casting shadows that danced across the walls, creating shapes that seemed almost human in their contortions. As they progressed through the journals, Eleanor's words grew more frantic, her experiences more vivid. She spoke of nights filled with inexplicable sounds, of soft footfalls in the hallway, of whispers just beyond the edge of perception. The air grew heavy, saturated with a mix of dread and anticipation. Sarah and James found themselves enveloped in the sensory tapestry of the past, the fear and trepidation that Eleanor had felt, now palpable, hanging in the air like a thick fog. As the final pages turned, the line between past and present blurred. The musty, claustrophobic atmosphere of the attic, the tactile memories held within the pages, the chilling whispers of history, all converged to create a moment suspended in time, a connection to the unseen tenant that had so profoundly affected Eleanor Whitlock's life. The discovery in the attic was not just a finding of forgotten journals, it was an awakening, a peeling back of the veil that separated them from the hidden truths of the Whitlock residence. As they closed the last journal, the silence that followed was not empty but filled with the echoes of the past, a resonance that would forever change their perception of the house they dared to call home. Compelled by the urgent whispers of the past, Sarah and James sought expertise beyond their own. They called upon a seasoned paranormal investigator, whose reputation for unveiling the unseen made him the beacon they sought in their growing darkness. Upon his arrival, the air within the Whitlock residence seemed to shift, as if the house itself was bracing for the revelations to come. The investigator, with his array of peculiar tools and instruments, began his meticulous examination of the attic. The soft hum of his equipment punctuated the silence, a modern intrusion into the ancient stillness. As he worked, the scent of burning sage filled the air, a ritualistic attempt to cleanse the space of any malevolent presence. Sarah and James watched, their senses heightened by anticipation and the electric charge of fear. They listened to the investigator's every step, the creak of the floorboards under his weight, the rustle of his clothing as he moved. They tasted the metallic tang of apprehension in their mouths, their own breaths mingling with the cooler air of the attic. The investigator's tools began to react, their screens flickering and dials spinning without apparent cause. A cold spot formed in the center of the room, an invisible well of frigid air that made their skin prickle with goosebumps. The scent of decay, faint but undeniable, wafted through the room, a sensory echo of Eleanor's encounters. As the investigation deepened, the atmosphere thickened with the weight of unspoken stories. The walls, the very air, seemed saturated with the imprints of past lives and untold tales. The investigator's voice, calm yet authoritative, narrated his findings, each word slicing through the heavy silence, each sentence a thread in the unraveling mystery. With every piece of evidence collected, every reading taken, the presence in the house grew more palpable. The air vibrated with unseen energy, and the faintest sounds, a whisper, a sigh, a rustle, became amplified as if the house itself was responding, communicating in a language beyond words. The climax of the investigation approached, a crescendo of supernatural activity that promised to bridge the gap between the tangible and the unseen. Sarah and James, standing on the threshold of the unknown, could only watch, listen, and wait, as the secrets of the Whitlock residence prepared to reveal themselves, forever altering the fabric of their reality. As the cloak of nightfall draped itself over the Whitlock residence, an eerie transformation began. The boundaries between the seen and unseen, the living and the departed, grew ever more tenuous. The investigation, now deep into its most crucial phase, teetered on the edge of the abyss, poised to plunge into the unknown. The air within the attic, thick with the weight of centuries, began to stir as if alive. Shadows, elongated and distorted, twisted across the walls and floors, moving with an unnerving autonomy. The investigators' devices, scattered around the room, buzzed and whirred, their readings spiking erratically as if reacting to an unseen force. Sarah and James, their senses heightened to the brink of overload, could feel every shift in the atmosphere, every subtle drop in temperature. They could taste the tang of fear in their mouths, a metallic flavor that mingled with the musty air of the attic. The scent of sage, earlier so comforting, was now overwhelmed by a more potent, indefinable odor, hinting at decay and desolation. Suddenly the room grew colder, a chill that seeped into their bones, as a visible breath escaped their lips. An inexplicable wind whispered through the room, carrying with it voices from the past, murmurs and cries that ebbed and flowed like the tide, growing louder, then fading away. Objects began to move of their own accord. Books tumbled from shelves, papers fluttered through the air like disoriented birds, and the chandelier overhead swayed gently, its crystals tinkling softly, a discordant lullaby for the unfolding chaos. The investigator, a pillar of calm in the burgeoning storm, meticulously documented each event, his voice steady, but tinged with an undercurrent of excitement and trepidation. Then, in a heart-stopping moment, the entity known as the tenant made its presence undeniably known. A shadow, darker and denser than the rest, coalesced in the room's center, pulsating with a malevolent energy. The temperature plummeted, and a pressure filled the room as if the air itself was being squeezed. Sarah and James, along with the investigator, stood frozen, a mixture of fear and fascination etched on their faces. They watched as the shadow began to morph, edges blurring and shifting, never fully taking form, yet exuding a palpable sense of anger, sorrow, and longing. The investigator attempted to communicate, his voice cutting through the oppressive silence, asking questions, seeking responses. The devices around them reacted violently, lights blinking and needles jumping, as if trying to translate the entity's responses. As the climax of the investigation reached its zenith, the room erupted into a cacophony of sounds and movements. The entity, though intangible, made its anger and torment known, rattling the very foundations of the Whitlock residence. In these moments, Sarah and James experienced a connection to the beyond like never before, a bridge between their world and one shrouded in mystery and darkness. The encounter reached its peak, the air charged with energy, the room alive with unexplained phenomena, and then, as quickly as it had escalated, the chaos subsided. The shadow dissipated, the sounds faded, and the atmosphere began to clear, leaving Sarah, James, and the investigator in a state of awe and contemplation, forever changed by their brush with the unseen. As the first rays of dawn pierced the horizon, casting a soft golden light on the Whitlock residence, a profound stillness enveloped the house. The tumultuous events of the night had ceased, leaving behind a silence that was both eerie and contemplative. The residence, once a nexus of inexplicable phenomena, now stood quietly, its many secrets momentarily at rest. Sarah and James emerged from the house, their faces etched with fatigue and a newfound awareness. The night had irrevocably changed them, opening their eyes to realms beyond their understanding. They paused at the threshold, casting a final glance back at the manor. The house, bathed in the gentle light of dawn, seemed almost peaceful, but its facade could no longer deceive them. They knew what lingered within its walls. The couple took a moment to breathe in the crisp morning air, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere of the attic. The sense of dew-covered grass and the distant aroma of blooming flowers gently pushed away the remnants of the night's terror. The world around them stirred to life, with the soft chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves, a reminder of the normalcy they were about to re-enter. With heavy hearts, Sarah and James made the decision to leave, to put distance between themselves and the Whitlock residence. Their departure was not just a physical act, but a symbolic one, a recognition that some mysteries are too deep, too dark to be fully understood or tamed. As they drove away, the house grew smaller in their rearview mirror, but its impression loomed large in their minds. They spoke little, each lost in their reflections, pondering the experiences that had shaken their skepticism and broadened their perceptions of reality. The investigator, too, left the Whitlock residence, his equipment packed away, his notes filled with observations that would require days, perhaps weeks, to fully analyze. He knew that this investigation would linger in his mind, a case that stood out not just for its intensity, but for the palpable connection to something truly beyond the ordinary. In the days that followed, Sarah and James struggled to resume their daily routines, the mundane tasks of life now tinged with a surreal quality. Their nights were haunted by dreams of shadows and whispers, a lingering connection to the entity they had encountered. The house, with its creaking floors and whispering walls, had left an indelible mark on their souls. As the narrative of their encounter with the Whitlock residents spread, it became a topic of hushed conversations and speculative debates. The house, already shrouded in local lore, now carried a new layer of mystery, its story enriched by the testimonies of those who had dared to confront its hidden tenant. The Whitlock residence, standing alone, its windows gazing out like watchful eyes, awaited its next chapter. The house, a keeper of secrets, a sentinel to unseen forces, remained a testament to the thin veil between our world and the one that lies just beyond our grasp. For Sarah and James, and for all who would come after, the Whitlock residence stood as a reminder of the night when the unknown made itself known, forever altering the fabric of their reality. As we close this chapter of our journey into the heart of darkness, we extend our deepest gratitude to you, our intrepid audience, for joining us on this expedition into the unknown. The Whitlock residence, with its layers of mystery and echoes of the past, is but one testament to the myriad enigmas that pervade our world, waiting silently for the light of inquiry to pierce their veil. Remember, dear viewers, the shadows of history are not mere remnants of the past, but repositories of truths, profound and often unsettling, that challenge our understanding of reality. Each shadowed corner, each whispered legend, each abandoned abode holds within it stories yearning to be told, secrets aching to be discovered. If this tale of the Whitlock residence has stirred the depths of your curiosity, if it has awakened a thirst for the unexplained and the paranormal, we invite you to engage with us. Leave us a like to signal your enjoyment and your eagerness for more tales of the mysterious and the macabre. Share your thoughts in the comments below, for your insights and theories enrich our collective exploration of the unknown. Subscribe to our channel for more encounters with the enigmatic and the eerie. Join our community of seekers and storytellers, a fellowship united by a shared fascination with the world's hidden dimensions. Together, we will continue to delve into the shadows, to unravel the mysteries that lie just beyond the reach of the conventional and the commonplace. Farewell for now, fellow voyagers into the veil. May your days be bright, your nights be peaceful, and your heart remain ever curious. Embrace the mysteries that surround us, for in every whisper of the unknown, there is a story waiting to be discovered, a truth waiting to be unveiled,